Yeah, my name is Yusuf, and I'm born in 2002. I was basically like brought up in basic Finnish Protestant Christian family. It was not like practicing Christian, but just like basic Finnish family. Since I was like very young, I always had these questions like about religion in general. Religion, the meaning of life. I always used to like think that why do we like believe in Christianity in Finland? Or some believe, some don't believe. I always like had these questions about Trinity and all this stuff. So basically I was thinking these things even though I was like very young. And I used to have these like theological conversations with my mom actually. And we always like, I used to ask her like, what is Trinity? Why do we believe like there is three gods and it's one and three, and it's like, seems like it's not possible. And my mom always used to give me these answers that maybe it's God's logic. We don't have to understand it. And I wasn't like satisfied with these answers. So when I was like maybe 9 years old, actually my one friend from my school back then, he told me about the jinn. And subhanallah, I didn't sleep for 2 months after that, but like, that was my first thoughts to da'wah. And after that, basically, I always used to be like interested in Islam in general. And after that, like few months passed by and our school did this trip to our local masjid. And actually in the masjid, there was this Finnish convert who was like talking about Islam and telling these like different things about Tawheed, about like Allah and these things. And I remember when he read the Quran, it was like subhanallah, because he looked like he was Finnish guy, but he still like read the Quran and spoke Arabic. So that had a like big impact on me. And after that, I went home and I was to my mom, I was like, have you heard about Islam? It's this cool religion, you know, and they believe in Jesus actually. He's one of the prophets, and it makes sense to me. And after that, basically, the thought was just in back of my mind. When I was young, I didn't really like, I have different things in my life back then, just like hanging out with friends and doing all kinds of like stuff that kids do, you know, at that age. So when I was like 12 years old, I found this YouTube channel that was like basically the Muslims in Helsinki. And actually I looked the videos, and for some reason, Allahu A'lam, for some reason this video came up to me. That was a video called Da'wah. And I watched the video, and I was cool sitting in the masjid. And I was like, subhanallah. Of course, I didn't say subhanallah, but I was like, wow, what a consequence. And after that, I just like scrolled through the whole channel and just like gained information about Islam. And subhanallah, everything made sense to me. I was like, subhanallah, this is actually what I have always believed. And I was 12 years old, and I was this close at taking my Shahada back then. But I thought that I would have to like start to wear only thobes. I would have to speak only Arabic. My family would disown me if I became Muslim. So Shaitan, he came to me and whispered these things. And qadr Allah, I didn't take my Shahada back then, even though I was like so convinced that Islam was the truth. Islam was the haqq. But like, maybe when I got to high school, I got into very like bad friend groups, or just like Finnish friend groups, you know, when you're a Finnish kid, you know, and you don't really like think about these things. You just like go with the flow, enjoy life, all kinds of fahisha. And subhanallah, when I saw their lifestyle, when I saw these things, I was like, subhanallah, this isn't really what I want to do with my life. This just makes people depressed. just like when you see like what does it do to people around you, and like there is basically no point. You're just like following your desires. What makes us like different from animals at that point? And subhanallah, when I actually started to think these things, I was like, I have to accept Islam, because if I don't accept Islam, I don't have any reasons or any like explanation on the Yawm al-Qiyamah. Subhanallah, always I used to have this one thought that when I'm 30 years old, I will accept Islam. Before it, I can like enjoy some of the things of the dunya, and then I can accept Islam. Or then when I'm on my deathbed, I can just say my Shahada and like, you know. But then the thing came to me that, subhanallah, I don't know, like one day I might just like get hit by the truck, or Malikul Maut would just like come to me, like when I'm asleep. Subhanallah, then I was like, I have to accept Islam. And then, alhamdulillah, I texted one of my friends from like way back, actually like 3 years, like we hadn't been in contact in any ways. And he was a Somali brother, at 2 a.m. actually. And I just texted him. I was like, man, I have to take my Shahada. You know, I have to take my Shahada. And he was like, bro, is this a prank? And I was like, no, I have to take my Shahada. Because I had been given him some hints, like way back. I used to like, because I always was interested in Islam. I always like, for example, read some Quran to him, and I wasn't even Muslim, and he was always also like, where have you been learning this stuff? And alhamdulillah, I was 18 years old when I accepted Islam, took my Shahada, and right now, alhamdulillah, I'm 19 years old and soon turning 20, alhamdulillah. I think actually the thing is that the details. I was like, how do you like know these things? And I used to like, I was like 9 years old. I used to like ask him about like the details, and he, this brother, actually he just like gave me so like precise details of it. And I was like, subhanallah, even though I'm a Christian, I should be a Christian. I don't even know this stuff like about Jesus, subhanallah. And that was the thing. And he had yaqeen, ilmul yaqeen. He didn't just like say these things, but I saw that he really like believed in it, what he said. So that was like, I was like, subhanallah, that's scary, but also like, that's kind of like, yeah. So it was really like the details, I think. Yeah. Actually, I remember, like, as I mentioned, I used to have these theological, like, conversations with my mom. And I basically, like, talked to her about, like, religions and Christianity and Islam and the right religion, what would be the right religion. So when I had like decided that I would do my Shahada this Friday, or I don't remember what day it was, but like this week, I increased the conversations with my mom. I used to be like, Mom, I think there is like, the God has sent like prophets and Anbiya, and I think actually that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the last and final one of them. And then my mom just like, she was like, so you're Muslim? And I was like, yeah, inshallah, in a few days. When I told her, he was almost crying. She was almost like crying, but she knew that, like, she remembered when I was like 12 years old. She remembered that I was so interested in Islam. So I called her after taking my Shahada. I called her. I was like, Mom, I just like took my Shahada. I'm now Muslim. And she was like, so, you know, you can leave from that. And she was like, yeah. So, and I was like, alhamdulillah, I think this is the right way. And she was like, oh, you know best. Yeah, so, alhamdulillah. It made me feel like, basically like, sad and misunderstood basically. But alhamdulillah, my parents have been like very like supportive, because after they saw the change in my like behavior, my life, they are very interested in Islam right now. Alhamdulillah, they are like, and they 100% they like appreciate it and support it, or also. But the thing is that I guess it was the shock when I just told her on the phone, and she was actually at work, so she was like, okay, so it's, yeah. Subhanallah, I can still like remember it like it was yesterday. I actually, when you take the Shahada, it's like you just like admitting it to yourself that this is the haqq, this is the truth. And subhanallah, with me, it was that I had like so basically, so to say, like long journey before I even took my Shahada with Islam. So it was like all these years of thinking, like, should I accept Islam? What would happen if I accept Islam? Different things. And now I have just like admitted it. So it felt actually that like a huge burden was like taken away. And I just like basically submitted myself to Allah. And it felt amazing. Subhanallah. Subhanallah, like, it was, of course, there was like, it wasn't easy, because of course when you have like lived like basic Finnish lifestyle, you know, there are a lot of bad habits you have, and it's not a like overnight thing that you are like born again, so to say, or you are, but like the habits are there, and it's just like you try to create better routines and go to the masjid, like study Islam, try to get more ilm. And actually that was like my journey, like just after the Shahada. I asked Allah to give me like good company, good friends, istiqamah, and alhamdulillah, Allah answered my dua, and yeah, alhamdulillah. My first Ramadan, subhanallah, it was Corona back then. It was like on its top. So subhanallah, I got to pray Taraweeh just a couple of times. But alhamdulillah, the whole experience with fasting, siyam, and also like the night prayers, the like whole vibe, it's just like, you cannot explain it if you haven't like experienced it yourself. So alhamdulillah, and I think Ramadan is for every single Muslim the part of the year when you just like start ponder upon why you were created, what is your purpose. And they say that why people love so much Ramadan is because they got to do what they are created for. So that's deep. And subhanallah, yeah, it was very good actually, my first Ramadan, alhamdulillah. That was even before I accepted Islam, because I learned the wudu and the salah even before I was Muslim. So I used to pray before I was Muslim, and I was like, maybe this is enough. I don't have to say the Shahada. I don't have to change my ways. I can pray like 3 times a day or 2 times. But alhamdulillah, when actually I prayed first time when I was Muslim, that's when it really like hit me, because that was like I had just like taken my Shahada. I had admitted to myself that this is the truth and Allah is my Lord. And subhanallah, when I went to the sujood, it was something else, man. You cannot you just have to appreciate, experience it yourself. Subhanallah. I had one chance to go there, actually, like free Umrah trip. But actually I had like stuff to do basically. I had like my rent to pay. I had like work, and actually I when I had my work, I couldn't like go there. So qadar Allah. I would say it is the like peace, the happiness that you feel when you practice Islam, the sweetness of Iman. There is actually nothing like it. You cannot like, you just have to like experience it yourself. The Iman, when your Iman just like when your Iman becomes stronger, when you try to like seek ilm, when you try to like get more closer to Allah, to learn why you are created. That's actually, that motivates me, because I always like to like get better and better, because all of us, we do mistakes, we have shortcomings, like all of us. And the best thing is that when we just like try to like be better and try to learn from those shortcomings. And that's basically the thing that motivates me to get more closer to Allah, and to have my, inshallah, my reward with Him, inshallah. I would say to him that don't think too much what people will think about you, or what shaitan will whisper to you, or whatever, just like follow your own intellect, like the logic, and just like, that would be my advice. Just think with your own brain and be brave, I would say. Yeah, sounds like a cliche, but it's what it is. I would say the whole like logic, the logical arguments, and the like, everything just like makes sense, basically. And like you cannot find any contradictions in the Quran. You cannot find like any good reason not to accept it. Actually, you just like, we have a free will. If you see it's true, you should accept it. But some people, they are too like, they have so much kibr. They don't want actually like even though they see, even though they hear, they don't want to accept it. And it's up to them. But subhanallah, Islam makes perfect sense. Quran, it's perfect. Subhanallah, everything is perfect. Inna ad-deena 'inda Allah al-Islam. And no other religion never will be true except Islam. So that's basically, it's perfect.